So I said last week that just sitting practice can be thought of in different ways, the way we use it in Sri Ratna. Sometimes it's just, we just simply sit after a meditation, or if we've been doing a series of meditations, we just sit and allow things to settle, as it were. We don't do anything whatsoever. But there is a more conscious way of exploring the just sitting practice. So it's different from the other two practices in that there isn't a definite object of concentration, or if you could say there's an object of awareness, it's awareness itself that's the object. So we're trying to come into an aware state, and from that aware state, just be very present to our experience as it arises. So this practice has been sometimes called just sitting. It's been called pure awareness, bare awareness. What else has it been called? Pure awareness, yes, I said that. Simply being, and, well, you could say just awareness itself. So, in that state of just being aware, what arises in our direct experience? So, a lot of the time, if we go to become aware, we're conscious that our experience is taken up a lot with our thinking mind. It's usually what encroaches into that space once we become conscious of it in meditation. So the thinking mind is trying to take us away, you could say, from our just direct experience of things. Our direct experience of things is essentially the six senses. So we just become aware. When we're aware, what's in our experience, it's something arising in the six senses. So we've got the five senses that we've already talked about, but in Buddhism, also the mind, the thinking mind, is the sixth sense. So we're trying to become conscious of the thinking mind also just as a sense. So whatever is arising in the thinking mind is simply arising in the thinking mind. But because we're meditating, we're naturally trying to move away from that thinking mind. We're trying to come into the body and become aware of our sensate experience primarily, sounds as well, to help to ground us in that just aware space. So, if that's working, then the thinking mind naturally drops away anyway. So, yeah. So, what is wrong with our experience right now? I read a book recently, it was entitled, What is Wrong with Right Now If You Don't Think About It? So, anyone, any answers? Unmute yourself and speak quite loudly because I'm a bit far away from the speaker. What is wrong with right now? Nobody's answering, so I'll take it that nothing is wrong with right now. Well, it's usual, I think, that we find that there's something wrong with right now. We find it difficult just to sit often with our experience. Often when we sit, the thinking mind kicks in and it wants to take us out of right now. So where does it take us to? Well, it usually takes us to some form of future thinking or some sort of thinking or rummaging around in the past. So, that future thinking might simply be something like, I don't want to be here, or I'll start thinking about something interesting because being here is a bit uncomfortable. Or we go to our past experience, we draw up some memory, we run over some conversation that we've had, and we're there. We're not in our present moment's experience. So it seems as human beings, we actually find it quite difficult to be with the right now. The other thing that happens is it can be very boring to be with the right now. So we sit down and basically the thinking mind goes, well, there's nothing much going on. I think I'll just go to sleep. So this is what happens. We sort of fall asleep in meditation because we're unable to come into just our direct experience and be with it. So the just sitting practice is a way of working at being with the right now, the present experience. And you may have noticed that everything happens in the present moment. In fact, it's all we've ever got is this present moment. We don't actually ever get into the past. You can't get into the past except through thought. And the same way you can't ever get into the future, the so-called future, except through thought. So that thought is always just happening right now. So it's thinking right now that we try to get into to get away from our present experience. So we're back into the thinking mind. And we do this, it's really just out of a habit energy that we've developed for doing this. And you could say the meditation was a way to work against that habit energy of not being right here, right now in our present experience. But however much we go to our thinking, to the past, to the future, we never actually leave present experience. So in a way, the thinking mind is kind of mad. It's constantly trying to take us away from what is, and this is a cause of a lot of our conflict and our suffering. And it splits our experience up. It splits our experience up. So we're not able to be present simply with what is. The thinking mind takes over, and it divides our experience. And that division, that sense of loss of unity, is a cause of suffering. We feel this sense of distance and separation from life, from ourselves. And when we're able to come into that unified aware space of awareness simply in itself, a lot of our conflicts disappears. And we see this in our lives. We maybe get absorbed into something like nature. We become very absorbed into the present moment, just being in nature. Or we also experience it sometimes in relationship, where there's a sense of closeness, a sense of presence, a sense of being with the other person, and some of that sense of division drops away. So this ability to be very intimate with our experience, be one with our experience, is the aspect or the dimension of awareness that is love. Okay, so said a bit there. So we'll do a meditation today to come into Our direct experience will explore, will come into the body, will explore the body as it appears in our direct experience, unmediated by the thinking mind. We'll also explore sound, which usually it's the other sense that's most present when we're meditating. We don't usually smell or taste very much, or if we've got our eyes closed, we're not seeing very much. Just the sort of blotches on the inside of our eyelids. So we'll explore the body and sound. So if you want to set up for meditation, so arriving into meditative space, you can let go of previous activity. We've got this safe space in which to go inward into our experience. We can start that journey into our experience, paying attention to the posture. Being in contact with the earth through whatever it is we're sitting on, through the buttocks, and all the feet and the knees. We're in contact with the earth. Feeling the earth supporting us. Giving up body to gravity. Just the minimal amount of effort for the body to stay upright. And everything else can just relax down into the ground. And the uprightness of the posture is the awake, alive aspect of our experience. And breathe up through our contact with the ground. Imagine breathing energy up from the earth through our contact with it into the body, up the spine, up the neck, and through and out the crown of the head. And taking 2 or 3 deeper breaths just to energize the body in that way. Drawing up energy from the earth, up through the spine, out the top of the head. Relaxing on the out breath. Noticing where our attention is focused. So quite often our attention, the sense of ourselves, is behind the eyes somewhere, at least around the head somewhere. If that's the case, then unhooking attention from the thinking mind and starting to notice the sensations of the body. Starting with the sensations in the head and face. Looking for the actual physical sensations as they appear in awareness. What are those sensations actually like? Sensations in the jaw, around the eyes, around the lips. Coming down through the body, looking for sensations as awareness travels down through the body. Sensations in the neck and throat. sensations around the upper chest, the heart area. Sensations at the bottom of the ribs, where the diaphragm is. Coming down to the lower abdomen, looking for sensations in the lower abdomen. You might find it helpful to imagine ourselves breathing directly into the lower abdomen. So as if the air is being drawn directly into the lower abdomen, and the skin. So you may already notice how the thinking mind has quietened as we come into the direct experience of the body and its sensations. We also may experience contentment and ease in just being directly in the body. So taking our attention to the lower abdomen, allow awareness of the whole body. Broadening our attention out, taking the whole body, where the sensations are coming to the fore. is actually there in our experience of the body. You may notice that in direct experience of the body and its sensations, it is different from our idea of what the body is. Does the body appear as something solid? Do sensations appear as something solid? Is our experience of the body anything other than these sensations? Explore this in your own experience. And take my word for it. Look at your experience. How is the body appearing right now? The thinking mind may come back in and want to label experience. Saying, that's my hand. But looking beyond the labeling experience to the actual direct sensate experience. What is that actually like? The sensations appear as something solid, or more like clouds of vibrating energy. But they actually appear. We're getting pulled back to the thinking mind, aware of that, and unhooking again, going down through the body, tuning into the sensations, coming down to the heart, lower abdomen. And becoming aware of the sense of hearing. Just opening up to the hearing sense. What is actually present right now in the hearing sense. sounds are coming to the fore of awareness. We allow those sounds to just be there, whatever they are. Notice tendency for the mind to come in and label sounds. Or to judge sounds. Judging as wanted or unwanted. Noticing any tendency to do that. You hear sounds just as sounds, without labeling them, without judging them. They are what's present in the hearing sense in this moment. Surrendering to what is present. It's here anyway. What other sounds are present? Maybe some sounds that seem to appear outside the body. Maybe some sounds that seem to appear inside the body. So looking for those sounds as well. Take one of those sounds. Is it really just one sound, or are there other sounds within it? It's what the mind is labeling as one sound, and a composite of several sounds. Is that sound constant? Or is it continually changing? Maybe rising and falling, increasing in volume, decreasing in volume. Does the sound seem to arise in some space or not? If so, where is that space? Is that space inside us or outside us? Or neither?